Hello, this is Essie. I am about to take me a nap too soon, but I was thinking about something. Um, and I want to share this because I know a lot of other people go through it too. But I would say, I think this started since I've been homeless. Yeah, this started since I've been homeless. I'm not homeless now, but I became homeless in 2011, but I never had this problem before. Not that I know of. I can't remember if I did. So this basically started in 2011 throughout my homelessness, and it is, I believe, continuing to this very day. But I noticed like when I make friends with someone, it causes other people to get jealous. So if I'm friends with a woman, um, either her friends or family or just a random somebody that gets jealous and then they come in and try to come in between us. And I was just remembering um, in the past how when I was friends with someone would get jealous and they would tell lies about me to try to turn that person against me. Um, I try to just, smear my name, just smear my name because they so freaking jealous. I remember one family invited me to their home. This was when I was in my car. They invited me to their home for Thanksgiving and then for Christmas that year. And then the next year, they invited me for Thanksgiving. But by that time, the second year, this lady had entered our little group and they were from Vegas. Her and her husband, not Vegas, New York. Her and her husband was from New York, and they had entered our little group. And this woman, when she found out that I was going to that family house for Thanksgiving, the second year, she got so jealous. I could see the jealousy in her face. You know how when someone gets so jealous they can't even hide it? So I could see the jealousy in her face, and I'm like, oh no. But I didn't know that this woman was going to turn around and lie on me, but she did. So, um, I have had to deal with that since I've been homeless, since 2011. But I'm the type of person like if the person I'm friends with don't stand up and say, don't do my friend like this or she's not like that or if the person I'm friends with allow this person to do the things that they're doing and the person is trying to come in between me and my friend and trying to push me out the way and I'm not the type of person that I don't fight for. It might be flattering to the person that you know that the friend is trying to push me out the way for. It might be flattering to my friend, but to me, it's not flattering. It's hurtful. So I be like, I just kind of like move back. I just move out the way. Be like, okay, yeah, you can have her. you you know, and um, because I don't like mess, and I don't like it's some people that think they own other people, right? So if I'm friends with someone and then another woman get jealous, she's basically, I feel, have taken ownership of my friend. Like she owns my friend. You like you can't be friends with nobody else. Even though we might have been friends before this person showed up, you know. But and that's how I feel like you don't own nobody to come in and try to take my friend away from me. Like, can't we just be all of us just you be her friend and I be her friend too? But no. So I just been thinking back over the years that has happened to me. Um, and then there was another occasion that this woman saw I was friends with a lady, and she stepped in and she just overtook my friend, and I'm like, okay, whatever, but we still talked, we were still friends and everything. But then I had another friend, right? So she just basically took this friend, and this was when I was going to the senior center. So she basically took this friend, right? She just consumed her and just talked and but I had another friend at senior center. So, we went places together. I went to her house and all this stuff. She looked and saw me being friends with the other woman. And now here she come. Now she's making friends. She did not pay the other woman no attention at all. At all. I honestly think the reason why she made friends with the first woman that I was friends with is because she thought that woman had money. But I know that woman didn't have no money. I'm not friends with older people because I think I'm going to get something out of them. I'm friends with older people, young people. I don't really like dealing with young people too much. They too much. But all my friends have really been older friends. Like even, I would hang with my mother and her friends, because I liked the maturity of older people versus like younger, but most of my friends have been older. I have had friends, my age, but sometimes they seem a bit immature. So I was always hanging with my mother and her friends. So when I became homeless, and I even had a friend that I met at Starbucks, actually two at Starbucks, and they were older women. So I just felt better being friends with older people. And then when I went to the senior center, same thing. Oh, I forgot the woman at Starbucks I became friends with. One of the older women at Starbucks I became friends with. There was a Starbucks employee that got jealous. So jealous. And she couldn't wait to she was just talking about me, smearing my name and everything. She was so jealous of my friendship with this older woman. And some of them thought, I think, that I was trying to use them, and I wasn't. It was a genuine friendship. I never asked my older friends for money. It was one friend that helped me when my car got towed, but I never asked her for the money. She saw what the police did, and she offered to get my car to tow and everything, and I paid her all that money back, and a card with a thank you with some extra money in it, all of it back. And so, yeah, none of my friends, older friends, I have asked them for money. So, but it was the older woman I met at Starbucks that the Starbucks employee got jealous of. And I remember one day I hadn't got there yet. My older friend was there. And when me and my older friend, we used to always sit at the table. We used to talk, we used to laugh, we used to have a good time. So one day I was in there, and the Starbucks employee, she told me this. The Starbucks employee came and sat in the spot that I sit at, and just start talking and telling her about her problems and all this stuff. I was like, what? They didn't even have that type of relationship. So my older friend was a white woman, and me, being indigenous woman to this land. I'm finna say black woman, but indigenous to this land, United States. So we had such a good relationship. And so this Starbucks employee was a white woman. And so when I wasn't there, she come sit in my spot and try to take my place. And because we know me and my friend, we talked about personal things, and we talked about me, and yeah. So she tried to take my place and do the same thing with her, but they didn't have that type of relationship. And my friend was really like offended. Like, yeah, she sat in your chair and she started telling me all her personal business. And I was like, what? So yeah, so that woman tried to come between us. And I think that was the very first incident that happened since I had been homeless. And then the family that invited me over for Thanksgiving and this other woman got jealous. That was the second. And then the senior center. Because this what happened with the family. With the family, I was like, I felt like that family was my family because I wasn't around my family. I know I wasn't even talking to my family at that time. And so I felt like that family was my family because they like embraced me and everything, invited me over for Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I didn't celebrate it, but I know that's a special day for them. And then the next year, same thing. But then now this other woman comes in the picture, her and her husband from New York, and she sees that and she gets jealous and then she spread lies about me. And so I was like, you can have them. You can have them. So I started going to the senior center where I met two more older friends. They were Black. The family was Italian and Indian. And the woman that came from New York, she was a Caucasian woman. But anyway, so when I went to the senior center, I met two older Black women, became friends with them. And then here comes a Black woman show up one day, you know, she lived in her car too. She wouldn't admit it, but she did. She lived in her car. And you know how those type of people where they come around you and they want all the attention and they don't want to see nobody else talking, like two people talking. They want to get in, they want to control the whole conversation. They want all eyes on them. They don't let no one else get out a conversation. This how this Black woman was that lived in her car. She was like that. So she saw me sitting next to my first older friend at the senior center. She saw me sitting next to her and she saw us talking and everything. And I think that she thought that my friend had money. But I know my friend's business because she told me. So I know she didn't have money. This is just like an instinct that I thought why she's befriended my friend so much and just consumed her and like everything was her bring up her name, everything. So I'm like thinking to myself, you think she got money? She ain't got no money. So anyway, but me and her, we were still friends. I didn't even back off from being friends with her, but we were still friends. And then there was another older woman I was friends with. And so I would go to her house and, we would talk and everything. I learned a lot from her. This was the woman that paid for my car to get out of tow when the police towed it. The second older woman, Black woman at the senior center. So we were cool with each other. I went to her house and everything. And so now this woman that consumed my first friend, now she sees me talking to the second older Black woman. And so now here she comes. She was not paying her no attention at all. Now here she comes, talking to her, hey, calling her name and talking to her. And so I'm at the senior center sitting at the front desk because I was volunteering at the front desk, and sometimes I would volunteer in the kitchen. So I'm sitting at the front desk, and then my second older friend walks in, and we're talking and stuff. And now here she comes. Hi, call her name. Hi, and here she comes. Now she's talking to my second oldest best friend at the senior center. Good friend at the senior center. And she's talking and she's consuming her. And, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just sitting there. And then she looks at me and she said something about, yeah, I know you're jealous. And I said to her, I know you want me to be. And she's like smiling at me. And I'm like, yeah, I know you want me to be jealous. But I wasn't jealous. I'm not that type of I'm not the type of to get jealous of friends. So if I have a friend and someone else becomes friend with my friend, I'm not the type to get jealous. I don't get jealous because I don't take ownership of people. Everybody's grown. Everybody's adult. You can be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. So that's not me to get jealous and try to push somebody out the way. And no. So, but I noticed that happens to me a lot. It's never where it's never I don't know. I was going to say it's never where the person wants to be my friend and push someone else out the way. It's usually they trying to push me out the way. But yeah, jealousy is something else between friendships. And I'm like, I would walk away. Especially if it's like stressing me out, if I don't feel like my friend is not stopping their friend or family, from doing lying on me or smearing my name, something like that. I'll just be like, I don't need this. And also, I did have another friend too, and she was a Mexican woman. Well, yeah, I made friends with her. She was a Mexican woman. She was married to a so-called Indian man. I said so-called Indian man, because and they get money. They get these checks every month or whatever. And so the family, they kind of had money. So, but her family, Mexican family, um, they were like, they would guard her. They were like, because she was their help. They got things from her because they know she had money because of who she was married to. So they got things from her. So anyone that became friends with her, they didn't like it because the energy that I got from them is she, talking about my friend, may be giving me something that they can be getting. So it was like they didn't want me around because my friend, the Mexican woman, she was a giving person. And so they didn't want me around because I could be getting something that they could be getting, even though she's been giving them, for years and years and years, greedy, giving them, but they didn't want to see no one else get close to her because she could be giving me something that could be going to them. And that's what that was all about. So, and I told her it was her niece that was one day I came to her house because they had like a jury, they were selling jewelry. And you know how they have it was kind of like a Tupperware party. You know how you have Tupperware and you have people you invite them over, friends and family, and you set a Tupperware, but it was jewelry. So I came to her house. They had snacks and everything. And her niece followed her around the house, all over the freaking house. Her niece followed her. I was like, damn, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is she following her all around the house like this? You couldn't even say anything to her. I couldn't say anything to my friend because her niece, and this is an adult woman, okay? She's younger than my friend, but she's an adult woman. Because her niece with kids, because her niece was following her around all over the freaking house. I couldn't even I couldn't be like, talk to her in private because her niece was right there. Like, this is her home. Why are you following her all around in her home? And you're acting like you never been in her home before. She's always coming to our house and spending the night and all that stuff. And so one day I was in front of Starbucks. We were sitting out on the bench. And I just told her. I don't even remember what I told her because I usually don't like talking about people's family. But I don't remember what I told her about her niece. Oh no, I brought it up. I said, why does she follow you all around the house like that? You know, and I said, she followed you everywhere in your house. I don't know what else I said. I can't remember, but I know I remember saying that 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 was kind of strange how she followed you around your house like that. To me, I felt like like I said, I feel like they were guarding her. Um Basically, this is my money train right here. It's like a when a people guard money, or like people drive those trucks, those money trucks, and pick up money. And you know how you guard the money. You're gonna guard the money. You ain't gonna let nobody come take the money. That's how I feel like her family was like that. They guarding their money, which is her. They guarding their investment. We ain't gonna let nobody else get close to her because they might take something that we could be getting. That's how I felt with her, with my old Mexican friend. So, but yeah, so it's like, and these are grown women, grown, acting like this. And, but I would say, I only walked away from one friendship, which was the family. Um, I walked away from that. That woman from New York was really smothering the mother, the wife, really smothering her. And I was just, and then like lying on me and smearing my name like that. And I was like, and I felt that even though they treated me the same, I feel like, well, I don't know. Because they didn't invite me over for Christmas that year. But so I wouldn't say they treated me the same, but I felt a little difference in the way they treated me. So I was wondering, were they really listening to her? She said that she didn't pay her no mind. But I don't know. You could be just saying, you just could be just saying that to me. But I think that was the only family friendship I just like walked away. I just walked away from that friendship with that family. But when I see them, they speak, she hugs me and everything. I speak to her, and guess who be right behind her, following her like a little puppy? That woman from New York. So it's been years. Let me see. When did that happen? I think that happened in like maybe 2013, 14. And she still be following her around like a little puppy. So when I see them, the woman of the family, she hugs me. She talks nice to me. I talk nice to her, and that woman be standing right behind. I had to check that woman though. I had to check her. I sure did. And so, but she be following her around like a little puppy. I'm like, how can you? And they're older than me, older than me. Like, how can you take ownership of someone? Like, but that's what happens when you don't have the Heavenly Father in your life. That's what happens when you don't have Yahweh in your life. I'd be like, okay, bye. I got somebody to talk to, and his name is Yahweh Elohim. Yahshua Messiah lives in me. I always got company. I got somebody to talk to. I do. I'm like, people is too much with this little jealousy, friendship stuff. Too much. So, yeah. And then, like, I have a friend now, and I know she got people that's jealous. I wouldn't walk away from my friend, my friend now, you know, but because it'll be exactly what they want. It'll be exactly, and I'm not giving them what they want, but I'll be seeing what they be doing, and they think I don't see it, but I see it. But yeah. So anyway, I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, let me make a video because I know other people be going through the same thing. But I'm not the type of person where I'm gonna follow up behind you. If I'm gonna be your friend, I'm gonna be your friend. And I'm not gonna control who you friends with, who you family with. I ain't gonna be jealous of your other friends and your family that's in your life. Cause I got Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? I got Yahshua. I mean, the friend of friends. you know? So I can always go talk to him. He'll never turn his back on me. He never talk about me behind my back. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, and I think that's what's missing in a lot of people. I honestly believe if they had Yahweh, if they had Yahshua as the friend, if they had the Holy Spirit abiding in them, they wouldn't be trying to take ownership of a person. You wouldn't be trying to do that. No. Because first of all, Yahshua would be your number one best friend. He at the top, friend of friends. So yeah, you wouldn't be doing that. So yeah, that's why I don't need to do that. Anyway, I need to take me a nap before I go to work. So I'll talk to you guys in another video. Bye.